All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the first half of our review for our final exam. We're almost done. Let's look at the first one. Number one, we want to find the length. Shh. Please don't talk while I'm talking. We want to find the length of the leg, and for some reason I forgot to put this particular picture on there. Our right triangle. Our hypotenuse is 24, one of the legs is 22, and the other one is the unknown. I want you to notice this, give an approximation to 3 decimal places. Some of you do not like to read those directions and then get mad when you get points off because you didn't do it for 3 decimal places. Okay, so let's look at this. We've got the hypotenuse is 24, so we do 24 squared equals 22 squared plus a squared. So this shouldn't be too bad. We do 24 squared is 576, which equals 22 squared is 484 plus a squared. So we do 576 minus 484 gives us 92. We square root both sides. Square root of 92 gives us 9.592. Because we rounded up. Any questions about that? All right. If the side length of a triangle are 7, 6, and 9, what kind of triangle is it? Is it obtuse, right, acute, or can't be formed? It's acute. Right, because we take 7 plus 6, and we see what it is to 9. Okay? 7 squared plus 6 squared, 9 squared. Okay? So, if we get 49 plus 36, we get 85, and we get 81. Well, I know the hypotenuse is bigger than the other two sides, so I know it's acute. Yes. You can put it the other direction if that works for you. You can say 9 squared, 7 squared plus 6 squared, and you get 81. Oh, I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. 85 is greater than 81, therefore 80. Woo! Okay. Excuse me, I can't hear anything because for some reason you're making noise. For it to be acute, your two smaller sides are bigger than your other side. If you guys don't want to learn and you want to play instead, you can walk your butts right down to the office and I can be done, but you're disrupting other people, so knock it off. All right, that is in chapter 7. You'll see the obtuse, acute, or right. Okay, we're going to solve for A and B. We need to be able to find out what the sides are. I'm going to erase this part so I've got more room to work. Okay, we're looking at trying to figure out what A and B are. So I want you guys to notice that there are 3 triangles here. There is the medium-sized one right here, the little one, but there's also the big one. Okay? We're going to find out what A is. My suggestion would be taking the hypotenuse of the middle one over, we don't know what the hypotenuse is of the little one, equals the longer side of the medium-sized one over the longer side of the little one. And then we're going to cross multiply. So we get 17 times 8, giving us 136, equals 15b. And then we divide that by 15. And we get 9.06 equals b. At this point, oops, not 9, equals b. Sorry. Okay, at this point you can totally do the Pythagorean theorem. You could go 9.06 squared equals 8 squared plus a squared, and then figure out what it is. So 9.06 squared is 82.08, which equals 64 plus a squared. And then we're going to subtract 64 from both sides, and we get 18.08 equals a squared, and then we're going to take the square root. And we get 4.25. Or round up to, yeah, 4.25. Does anybody need me to go over that again? Yeah, unless it says specifically it's supposed to be so many decimal places, that's fine.
Repeat.
4.25, yes. Yes, Marcos.
What formula is that? 17 would be?
It's not a formula, it's setting up similarity. It's in chapter 7, similar triangles. Similar rectangles. Yeah, as long as you're doing the same thing. So right here, this is hypotenuse over second longest side over hypotenuse over second longest side. As long as you keep them the same like that. So I've got the big over the little, big over the little. You could have done it the opposite way, it's just as long as they're the same on each side of the equation. If you're doing little over big, you have to do little over big on the other side too.
So you do it for both sides?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. No, because it's 15 plus A. So that's why it messes up. All right, let's look at number 4. Number 4, we've got a trick to be able to find h. Who remembers what the geometric mean is? Anybody? Okay. So h equals 6 times 48, the square root. Okay. So if you look at the big triangle, see the altitude is h. So to find the altitude, you simply do the geometric means, which is both sides of the hypotenuse, multiply it by each other, and then square. So we get 16.9 equals h. This is the geometric means. Excuse me?
So is that 6 or
6. Okay, so once you have that, it's going to be really easy to find the other ones because it's just Pythagorean theorem. So if we wanted to find a, we'd say a squared equals 6 squared plus 16.97 squared. So we get a squared equals 36 plus 287.98. We add that to 36, and then we take the square root. And we get 17.9. 17. Okay, and then we want to find b. We just take h plus 48 equals b squared. 17.9. So 16.97 squared plus 48 squared. And then square root it. So that geometric mean is a nice trick. There are other ways to do it, but it does take longer and it's harder to use. That was in chapter 7 too. We have not moved outside of chapter 7. I'll let you know when we do. Yep. All right, let's look at number 5. Okay, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it wants us to find the altitude. The altitude is from the hypotenuse through the 90-degree angle. And again, it's just the geometric means. The square root of 3 times 12. So we should get, for number 5, 6. The altitude.
Okay, well.
Yes.
So how do you find altitude?
Geometric means 3 times 12, the square root. So you look at the hypotenuse. See how it has 2 parts to it? Okay. You multiply those 2 parts together. Take the square root. Done. All right, number 6. If a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the ratio of the length of the hypotenuse to the length of the side is what? So remember 45, 45, 90s? are both x, and then this is x square root 2. So it wants to take the ratio of the length of the hypotenuse over the sides. Well, what does x over x give you? X divided by x is what? 1. So we get the square root of 2 over 1, which would be, I don't know why I didn't show it. Questions so far? Again, this is all in chapter 7. 7. Okay. Number 7 is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. 30, 60, 90 triangle is this. The smallest side, which is across from the 30, is x. And then we have x square root 3 and 2x. Okay. So our smallest side is 5. So that makes x equal to 5 square root 3, and y equals 3 times 3 is? No, 2 times 3. Not 2. Giving us 6. So this is for 7 right now. Yeah. Because it's 2 times the smallest side. It's the hypotenuse. Right? Oh, sorry. Because I'm crazy. 10. Thank you. Okay, so we've got 5, right? We know that the longer leg is whatever the smallest leg is times the square root of 3. So that's how we got 5 square root of 3. Yes, ma'am? No, you just leave it like that. You're done. Okay. So number 8 is also a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So 30 would go right here. So the smallest side is x. Well, you know that the hypotenuse is 2 times the smallest side. So what would the smallest side be? 11. Which would make y equal to 11 square root 3. And it'll be multiple choice. So if you get a funky decimal, you'd say 11 square root 3 in your calculator. If it gives you 11 square root 3, you know you're done. Multiple choice. Okay. Next one's a little tricky. What is the length of an altitude of an equilateral triangle with the side length 8 square root 3? So let's draw an equilateral triangle. Each of the legs are 8 square root 3. And we want to find the altitude. Okay. So we know if we cut an equilateral triangle in half, we have 2 right triangles, right? Okay, well we could do something like this. 8 square root 3 divided by 2, because that would be each half. Gives me 6.93. And now I can do the Pythagorean theorem. 8 square root 3 squared equals, we'll call this x squared plus 6.93 squared. Yes? The geometric mean would not work for this because to get the geometric mean, you have to cut from the hypotenuse through the 90-degree angle, which would give you this, which you don't need. You're looking for the altitude. Yes? I took 8 square root 3 divided it by 2, because these sides are both equal. So I'm going to take 6.93 and I'm going to square it, which gives me 48.02. And I'm going to take 8 square root 3 and square it. It gives me 192. I'm going to take 192 minus 48.02, and I get 143.98 equals x squared. And then I'm going to square root both sides.